The game. Triple H was on BT Sport today doing a full hour length in-depth interview with Ariel Helwani. This was a fantastic interview. Honestly, Ariel Helwani is one of, if not the greatest interviewers in the entire industry right now. He does lots of wrestlers. He's primarily sports, combat sports. But he does certainly love his pro wrestling, and he was very excited to be having Triple H live and in person. And they talked for about a full hour, I think maybe even a little bit more. And this was really, honestly, the best Triple H interview I've heard that I can remember in God knows how long. Maybe he's done a better interview. I don't know. But this was, in my opinion, the definitive Triple H interview, maybe more appropriately, the definitive Paul Levesque interview. This was very much an interview with Triple H, the executive in WWE, and it was just fantastic. And honestly, you gotta go check it out. I have linked it down in the description below. There were so many clips I wanted to pull from this. The whole interview is noteworthy, to be honest with you. So it was really hard to choose what I wanted to take from this and kind of single out and spotlight for the show. And I actually kind of cheated a little bit. I'm going to do two. So just shut the fuck up and deal with it. The first one we'll talk about was the one that was a little bit less newsworthy. I know you've seen some stuff going around about the AEW stuff. We'll talk about that in a moment. Because in my opinion, that was there wasn't a lot there. But it was still interesting to hear. But the first thing I wanted to spotlight, not a lot of people are talking about this one, was Triple H talking about Brock Lesnar. And more specifically, when Brock walked out of SmackDown the day that Vince McMahon stepped down and Brock walked in, found out Vince was no longer there, and he was like, fuck it. If he's not here, I'm not here. Peace out. Deuces. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go on my ranch and slaughter cattle and butcher them and fuck Sable and drink a Coors Light, right? Check out this clip of Triple H being asked by Ariel Helwani if those rumors were true and how exactly it went down and how it was handled. Check out this clip.
Brock Lesnar was upset and left, and that you had to kind of convince him to come back. Is that true? Was that a thing that really happened?
There's some truth to it, yeah.
Really?
Look, you have to understand Brock's relationship with Vince, and I think if you look at Brock's relationship across combat sports, period, right? He has a relationship with Dana that's a certain way, his relationship with Vince that's a certain way. But Vince is the devil he knows. And Brock is inherently not a trusting person. It's just how he is. He doesn't like people. Yeah. But he's not a trusting person. And I think in that moment where you just hear Vince is out, now what's going to happen? I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And I think there was just a moment of that. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not like he, looked at it and was like, well, I don't like anybody else here. I don't trust anybody else here. I don't anything else, right? So it was a moment of sort of, I'm going to walk on this, and then we have conversations, and comes back, and I have a great relationship with Brock.
I love that Triple H was so honest about this. He was really open. He wasn't really tiptoeing around anything or playing too politically correct with anything. Ariel asked him a question and he pretty much answered everything. Otherwise, towards the end, Ariel had asked Triple H about, if this guy's coming back, if that guy's coming back. He kind of rapid fired a few. Is this guy going to come back? Yes or no? And Triple H had to kind of kayfabe him on all of those. But it was really refreshing to hear Triple H just kind of be open and honest. And when Ariel asked this question about Brock, Triple H was just like, yeah, that's absolutely something that happened. And you know what? Brock's not a very likable guy. Brock don't like people. He's very set in his ways. He doesn't trust people. And, he had a good relationship with Vince McMahon. And now, all of a sudden, without anybody asking Brock's permission, Vince went and retired, and Triple H was now in charge. And Triple H even acknowledged that him and Brock had their issues back in the day when they were both talents. He feels like he has a pretty good relationship with Brock now, but he does say that, when he was an active wrestler in the same locker room with Brock, that they had their issues in the past. But he said that they just had to kind of have a talk with Brock and let him know, like, here's how we see you, here's how we value you, here's our plans for you. Nothing's really going to change. You don't got to worry about all of a sudden your booking is going to change and we're going to squash you and ruin your career. Or be difficult to work with in any way. Brock's very set in his ways, had a good relationship with Vince. And I wonder if that will lead to Brock maybe not renewing his contract when the time comes. Maybe he could be talked into riding this out, but maybe he's not going to stick around for the long haul. Or maybe not. Maybe he will build that good relationship with Triple H. For as much as we've always heard about Triple H being the backstage politician and burying everybody, and Mick Foley even had a funny joke on, I think it was his podcast last week or whatever. He was talking about the one of the Buried Alive matches where Hunter Hearst Helmsley was out there assisting and burying The Undertaker. And Foley joked that it was the first documented case in wrestling history of Triple H burying another wrestler, which was hilarious. But, we've all heard that, and he's had that reputation. But now, as an executive, everybody kind of looks up to Papa H as the father figure, all those NXT kids. 90% of the roster, as Triple H said in this interview, came from NXT. So some of these people never had a relationship with Vince to begin with, or didn't have a good one, or didn't know Vince like a Brock does, for example. And Triple H has kind of taken on that new role where everybody's looking up to him and trusts in him, and he's taking care of his talent. And I think he'll take good care of Brock, too. Nothing's going to change with Brock. If anything, Brock's going to get to be more fun. He's going to get to cut loose a little, take a tractor and run over the ring. Why not? But I see where Brock was coming from. Brock's in a position where he doesn't have to do anything that he doesn't want to do. He's there for the fun of it. And he's got that understanding with Vince. He's got the relationship with him where they understand each other. Vince knows what Brock wants, what Brock needs, what Brock likes. He knows how to treat Brock. He knows how to handle Brock when Brock's pissy or crabby or whatever. And in turn, Brock knows what he's getting from Vince. He knows how Vince operates and all of that. So Triple H just being the new thing just kind of threw Brock off. But I think, things are just going to continue as normal. I don't foresee any future issues with this or anything like that. But I thought it was pretty interesting just to hear Triple H just be so open about it and not really try to tiptoe around it or give the politically correct answer or like a Bruce Pritchard answer on something to wrestle or something where he's, just kind of tiptoeing around it or not telling the full truth. And, I'm sure Triple H didn't just, tell everything that happened in the conversation or anything, but he was pretty open about it, and that was cool to see.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, and you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.